Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel de Fundes Vieira, and today I'll be presenting the paper titled Gaze Estimation via Self-Attention Augmented Convolutions. This work was developed alongside Professor Luciano Oliveira at the iVision Research Lab at Universidade Federal da Bahia. Our main goal here was to explore if the recent trend of self-attention mechanisms could be applied successfully to gaze estimation. Conceptually, gaze estimation is the task of determining the direction of a subject's gaze, or in other words, their visual attention. In the context of our work, this will be achieved by obtaining a gaze vector G hat, whose origin is the middle point between the eyes and whose direction is described by the pitch and yaw angle components as illustrated in the presentation. As for the estimation task itself, our work focuses on appearance-based gaze estimation. Simply put, the objective is to extract the gaze vector information directly from images of the subject's eyes and/or face. This is generally done by training some sort of learning algorithm to act as a mapping function between images and the gaze information. Our work focuses on improving the accuracy of said mapping function, which in the context is a convolutional neural network, by augmenting it with self-attention. One of the main advantages in using self-attention mechanisms is their ability to model long-range contexts into features. On image applications, this translates to the model being able to learn correlations between relevant features in different regions of an image. So our intuition here is simple. Gaze by itself is an inherently spatial phenomenon. For example, if we're looking at a picture of someone's face, the eyes are the obvious indicators of where that person is looking, but other regions like the nose, the chin, and the ears are also all strong predictors for the gaze direction. So being able to take them all into account together should produce better results than just taking hints from them separately. As a baseline, we use a regular ResNet 18 architecture with one input stem and 4 convolutional blocks. From there, to integrate attention in the model, we're going to use self-attention augmented convolutions as drop-in replacements for all the convolutional layers in the core convolutional blocks. We keep the input stem as a regular convolution and keep the same gap layer on the output. Training these attention augmented convolutions is a very resource-heavy process, so due to the hardware constraints, we also remove the last convolutional block entirely. We're then left with 14 convolutional layers, and we'll refer to this architecture as Aries 14 for the remainder of the presentation. For more details on the attention augmented convolution layers themselves, please refer to the full paper. Now, building upon the Aries 14 architecture, we present our final gaze estimation framework, a multi-input, dual-branch architecture dubbed Aries Gaze. We use as inputs image from the subject's face and the subject's eyes. These are then passed through 2 separate Aries 14 branches in parallel, and the extracted features are then joined by concatenation and mixed by sequential fully connected layers to produce the final output, which are the pitch and yaw gaze angles. For the experiments, we use the MPI phase gaze and IDIAP datasets, which are 2 of the most widely used datasets for in-the-wild appearance-based gaze estimation evaluations. We evaluated the effect of self-attention in each branch of the Aries Gaze framework by comparing the average angular error on both datasets. The face branch of the framework benefited more on average from the use of self-attention than the eye branch, and this aligns with our hypothesis, since on the face input there is relevant information in multiple regions of the image, while on the eyes the gaze-relevant information is usually condensed to one region, the pupil. On both datasets, the use of self-attention on both branches simultaneously yielded the best results overall. Finally, we compare our approach with comparable methods in the current state of the art. We are able to reach the best results with the Aries Gaze framework on one dataset, MPI phase gaze, while reaching second place by a slight margin on the IDIAP datasets. Given the shallowness of the attention-augmented backbone, Aries 14, this result further reinforces the notion that self-attention is a very promising avenue to explore with regards to appearance-based gaze estimation. In conclusion, we were able to ascertain that the use of self-attention was indeed beneficial to the appearance-based gaze estimation task, having been able to obtain comparable results with the current state of the art. We showed that facial images have more to gain from the use of self-attention than eye images, which leads us to believe that a framework with specialized architectures for each input might perform as well or even better while having less training overhead. Additionally, using other modalities of inputs like facial landmarks might improve the results or even open the way for other tasks like jointly predicting head pose and gaze by leveraging these spatially aware facial features. Thank you, and please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you might have.